Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here, sharing your most precious asset with me, and that is your time. Welcome to the Crypto Lifer Show. Baby. How's everybody doing? How you feeling? I hope you're having a wonderful day. And hey, it's Thursday. That means it's weekly screen share day. We're going to hang out later tonight, 8:30 or 8 to 9:30, 8 to 9:15. Try to keep it, up to an hour and a half, something like that, hour and 15. But I always end up going longer. Shout out to Master Friend of the House. Shout out to everybody here. Thank you for jumping on in. Appreciate each and every one of you for looking at my insane face every single day. You guys are great. I love you. I couldn't do it without you. 66,090 for Bitcoin, kind of hanging on this key area around 67,000. Can we get back? I got a flag here. Does it play out? They've been going back and forth here. It's been treacherous. Their liquidity is to the downside. Let's talk about it. Let's break it down like we do every single day here on the channel and have some fun if we can and enjoy our lives in this current moment in time. 2 hours, the best way to get rid of anxiety. You're feeling, anyone here feeling anxiety? Today I felt a little funny. I'll be honest, the market's been kind of trying the last couple of days. You want it to go. What's happening? October, right? Everybody hyped it up so much, right? That's why you have to kind of always breathe, always just watch, always take it in. Deep breaths and just say, hey, one step at a time. Remember, every trade is just a statistic. Up or down, it's just a statistic. Every single time you're in a trade, just a statistic. You see what I mean? Don't get overwhelmed by a couple losses. Don't get overwhelmed by a couple wins. As long as you're consistent over time, tally up the higher P&L, baby. Shout out to everybody here. Take a sip of that water. May God bless each and every one of you for jumping on in again today. It's Lime today. Maybe that's why I'm getting thrown off. I was in a long last night because it got tighter and tighter. Right before I went to bed, I decided to cut off the long. It didn't look good to me, and we did get the dump to the downside. I lost about $400 because one trade was $350, one trade was about $120, almost $475, One of my bigger losses recently as a chunk hold because I wanted that bigger trade to pump, but it didn't look good. Then I seen all this liquidity to the downside, but thank God I got out. I would have lost $2,000, So a lot of times I don't even just switch shorts. I'm saying, why didn't you hit the inverse button? Some days for me, I find it's good to go to bed without a trade open, especially if you take an L so you can come back the next day and really just clean it up, So, but I lose. I just want to make it clear to every single person here as a pro trader, a trader who trades every single day for years and years and years now of my life. I lose trades, everybody. I want to make that really clear. Today, someone's in my trade, because what happened is someone will join my trading group as a beginner. They'll lose 2 or 3 trades. Like, what am I doing wrong? It's like nothing. Like, you're taking a trade and you're losing. You never know exactly what's going to happen in the market. I play all the probabilities that I can find of all the information I can take in, but it doesn't mean I'm going to be right. If I was right, I'd like to be right 90% of the time. There's weeks where I'm hitting, like, it feels like I just, I lose 1 out of 20 trade. It just keeps hitting, And then there's weeks where I might be 50-50. If you put me together in a whole year, I gotta be over 70. I'd say 75, somewhere in there. The chop recently can get to you too on a day-to-day basis. This has been choppy. We're gonna break it down, but right now BOOKMAP suggests that we do go lower. Big Red is down here at 66,000. You can even see the stepping stones down and the Gaussian blur there. It suggests we go to the downside. I just want to make that really clear. What has been your biggest losing streak after so many years? Honestly, maybe like 10 straight losses, but I never lose more than, like, the biggest loss I've taken as a trader, like as an actual, sell the trade. I think maybe $2,000 in a day. You know what I mean? Which to me isn't too bad considering how much, I can make $500 in 15 minutes. I've made $2,000 in a day many times too. So it's right. I've definitely made $2,000 more times in a day than I have lost it. I'll tell you that, right? I keep my losses small, right? If I see there's danger in the market, if I get into a play and within the first hour and a half or hour, it's not really going the way in which I looked at it to go, and it seems like we're hitting resistance, I'll just cut it off and I'll wait for a key area to break before I get back into the trade. I'm using support and resistance a lot more than I ever have before. It's weird. It's like you'll go back to the basics as you become an older trader. I really think that's going to happen to everybody here. Eventually, you're going to go back to the smaller, you're going to go back to the basics. Anyway, There still could be a trade here. Today, we may make one of the biggest trades on the stream. You never know what could happen today. You know, today is a day full of opportunity. Dear Lord, thank you for the opportunity which you provided to me and everybody here. May we take full advantage of it by being in a constant state of gratitude, remaining in the present moment in time, not being stressed by what has happened to us in the past, and not being stressed about what we, you know, what could happen in the future. All we can do is control right now at this present moment in time. If you're stressed out right now, feeling some anxiety, focus on the present. Take 10 deep breaths. Realize all you have is right now. If you can control how you feel right now and you can flip it positive, then you're kind of on the way to doing that all the time. So really, your whole life is boiled down, because the slight edge is about doing the small things over and over again that add up. So if you can right now, at this present moment, breathe in and be like, yeah, I know I feel anxiety. I'm a human being. All right. I know that I'm not always perfect. Okay. But right now, I know in the present moment, the future is full of possibilities. It depends on how I think. If I think I can, or if I think I can't, I'm probably right. So I have no choice but to be positive, right? Because if your mind controls where you're going and you have a negative thought, then that's where you're going. So you must have positive thoughts to have a positive relationship with your future. Amen. So focus on the present moment and building positivity, and the rest becomes the stepping stones to life. You know, it's the key. I'm giving you the actual key to life. But it's hard because you'll come back to it constantly. Today, I'm reminding myself, stay in the present, Sam. Everything is golden. You have it all in your hand if you stay in the present, because then you'll be able to see the opportunities around and take advantage. But if you get in your head and worry about the past, or if you stress too much about the future, that will get to you so much you will not be able to see what you need to see ahead. Or right now, it's in front of you, and take advantage of it. It's like walking across the street, but worrying about the last time you almost got hit by a car and what could happen when you get across. And then in your mind, you're not thinking, and then you're not really paying attention when you're across the street and you do get hit by a car, you know? Anyway, God bless everybody here. So there's a bunch of liquidity here down to the downside at 66,000. Okay. Tons of it. A lot of it down here. And it just shows that there's, you know, that's, you know, I'd say 85% of the time when BOOKMAP gives us that much red to the downside, we go there. So this is telling us 66,000 is highly likely for Bitcoin. All right. It doesn't say it's guaranteed. It says it's highly likely. All right. Let me flip it on you guys today. A friend of mine came over. Mindy, the best real estate agent in Sarasota. In the world, I would say, but she happens to be in Sarasota now. She's the one who found me my beautiful home that I live in, the beautiful rental that I lived in that led me to my beautiful home. And she also brought me coffee today. So if you see me bugging out and acting crazy, it's because I'm on caffeine. Caffeine is a hell of a drug, okay? Don't get it twisted. There's a C and an NE, just like the other one. There's even an A and an I. They're weirdly connected. I also don't partake in caffeine abuse, as I have a coffee maybe once in like a week or two or something like that. All right. Sammy Fee. So here we go. But let's see what happens. The caffeine may really, you know, push me to another level. So I'm always overly long. You guys know that. I'm more of a bullish bias. You got to know your bias as a trader. No matter what, you're going to flip a little more the other way than the other. No matter what. There's no trade. I don't know if there's any trader who's fully a short and fully a long, like perfect down the line split, you know? I'm bullishly biased. And you know what plays out in my favor many times? When most people just think it is impossible, I'll just keep relentlessly going bullish and I'll hit big gains and be like, how? Well, because I'm relentless. It'll seem like miraculous. It'll seem amazing. It'll seem, but really it's just consistency over time that makes it look great. A lot of people that are amazed see the young man. This is an old saying, and I've said it here on the channel before, but you know, a young man just walks into a park and he sees an old man throw bread in the water, and right when the bread hits the water, birds fly out of nowhere and hit the ground, hit the water and start eating the bread. And the young man's like, oh my God, how did you do that? Like, that's amazing. And the old man's like, oh, simple. He's like, I come here every day, and at this exact time, I throw bread in the water. He's like, sometimes the birds come and sometimes they don't. He's like, today they came. So the point of that story is older people do the same thing over and over again. And because younger people don't understand like the rule of probability and you know, because they haven't been around on the earth long enough, They think what we do is amazing. You know, you look at someone that's a quote unquote expert. Now, when you get to that stage in life, you'll look back and you're like, oh yeah, they were amazing. I'm not trying to take away from their awesomeness. But what I am trying to say is it comes from the consistency. And when you're young, you just don't even have enough time to understand the consistency that someone older than you has. Okay? Can you speak on Jupiter? I love Jupiter. I think it's hot. I think it'll continue to go to the upside. As long as it's below $1, I believe it's in an accumulation zone. I own a good old bag of it and I'm just holding it. And I plan to sell half around maybe $5 to $6, and if we can get to 10 to get out. And that's my plan for Jupiter. Yeah. Did you clean your belly button today? I have to be honest, I did not this morning because I didn't take a shower this morning. I didn't end up working out this morning. Today I did skip my workout, but that means I'll either do it Saturday or later today. I'll let you guys know if I commit to that though. Mike, I'm flat till next month. This month was a button. You know, Mike, what are your thoughts on REEF? So funny, man. God bless master friend of the house. So, you know, this is a bull flag right here. See it? And I go, people don't, you know, and I feel bearish and it doesn't look good and things are kind of but that's still a bull flag. The 2-hour time frame looks somewhat bullish to me. Let's build a scope of probability here from the bigger to the smaller time frames, and together let's work it. And let's see if you see something I don't, and let's work together with our minds. This is a mastermind. You watching does affect this, just like that quantum split theory. When you watch the stream, you affect it. The stream is not the same when you're here. Every person here creates a consciousness effect on the stream that makes the stream amazing. This is why the stream does what it does and it works the way it works. It's on another kind of frequency. All right. And I've worked so hard to create that type of space. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, that's okay. I guess that would be the plan then, right? Wouldn't it? Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. So the weekly. We always do the weekly. Why? Because the up and down price action can get you up, can get you a little, rustled, can get you a little scared. All right. And you got to calm it down and just look at what's in front of you. All right. So take a look. Right here we have 61,469, 61,005. Key area. We did break above there. Beautiful. Then I said I'll get above 64,200, eh? And we did. We got above there, right? Beautiful move to the upside. Candle. Awesome. And then even these two candles was our next resistance at 65.5. Blasted through that. And then it came down to 67,200. So this is what I say, you're in a tight range here above this key resistance at 64.2, but getting rejected by 67.2. You just need to break back into 67,000 and you'll crack through 68 and then continue further to the upside. So far, even if this weekly candle just closes like this or even down, if the weekly candle closes at 65 or 66,001, anywhere in there, it's fine as long as it doesn't close below these two candles. So if we close below these two candles, I'm not going to flip into an overly bear. If we close below 61.5, I'm gonna flip the switch again. I'm gonna be like, oh my gosh, you don't want to see us. If we close below 61.5 again, we're have to deal with the fact that we could be going further to the downside. All right. So we don't want to see that. All right. 66,920 in case you're fiending for the price action. All right. And we're gonna get to possibly a live trade in a second here. Keep your hat on. But we got to do our due diligence. All right. This is part of having patience and planning it out. If you don't have this patience and you just jump into trades constantly, there's probably a reason you're losing most of your trades. All right. Can't see how it doesn't get the liquidity at 66,000. Can you please tell us if ETH is going to the moon or if ETH is going to the moon? You're funny. I mean, ETH looks bullish to me. I actually put out a bullish trade for ETH, which I never do, which is strange because it follows Bitcoin and it's likely to dump. But ETH looked somewhat bullish to me this morning. Let's take a look at the 3-day chart. The 3-day chart looks stochastic, still pointing up. Not the end of the world. Sorry. MACD looks okay. RSI, everything looks somewhat decent here, but there are getting some, towards the end of their rally. But, I don't see any hidden bullish divergence, do I? That's down. And look, see that swing down? Well, that's, no. That's pretty spot on for me. It's a little uptrending though. A little bit of hidden bullish, no? Shoulder, head, and right shoulder for sure. Shoulder, head, right shoulder. That 68% chance says we break to the upside from the neckline. Looks like we've already reached it a little bit, and it gives you about 78.8. All right. That's what it says is going to happen based on by the book. Like if we were just nerdy by the book people. So 61.5, you write that down, and you want to break 64,000. You want to hold 64.2. Really 65.5, that area too. But I just want to I go level by level. And the key area you do not want to go below is 60. You go below 61.5 again, I mean, it'll be kind of like, man, like they're really, really, really psychologically attempting to tear us apart there. As long as we stay above 61.5, everything else makes sense to me that's happening, right? Number one, you had these beautiful pumps, right? Look, we just went from 59,000 all the way to about 68,000. And we did it from October 10th, right, to the 16th, so about a week, right? BONK, head and shoulder on the daily. Amen. All I know is how to trade the charts. My full-time job. Amen. Shout out to Seek Parabolic. Shout out to Master Friend. Shout out to Mayver. Shout out to Melvin X. Shout out to David Nelson. All right. I'd love to shout all of you out right now, but let's get back to the charts that, I'm just addicted to this. So the daily, away from the 21-day moving average, suggests that we are going to come further to the downside. All right. You know what I would do is, as a beginner trader, a demo trade here would be cool. Like you could even just set up a short demo. Just see what happens. Just to see, you know what I mean? Just does it fall? We don't really, there's the 3-to-1. If the stop's right above those candles and you try to take it back to the retest, and a bounce off 64,008, 64.9, there would be nothing wrong with that for me. It'd be so healthy and beautiful, and then we could punch into 68,000. It would be great. So I'm, no stress really here for me right now, unless the 4-hour breaks the 200 MA. Then I would start to become a little more bearish, right? If you see the 4-hour break this yellow line somewhere around 62.8, and it will get pulled up a little more. So you have a lot of stress lines. Even if the 1 hour loses the 200, I would start to get a little cautious here. Okay, we'll get into that in a second. But those are the levels that I would begin to, so you remember the moving averages tell you where you are and what's happening. If you pay attention to them, you don't have any stress because you can understand where you're at. And that's why I trade spot in the long term with large amounts, because the moving averages they can coach me and teach me where I need to be and why. And I also use trend analysis. Again, with the daily trend, it's very important to understand. We had a high, we had a low. We had a lower high, we had a lower low. We had a lower high, we had a lower low, we had a lower high. This was a bad, it looked like we were going to come down and make a lower low. The trend was not in our favor at this point. It was definitely a downtrend. But then look, we made a double bottom. And that's why double bottoms are so important. They're basically the plugs to the holes. If you were outside, stranded in a boat and it was, you had a hole and you finally plugged it and stopped, it's like you're bleeding, you're bleeding, you're bleeding, you're bleeding. And everything responds to those double bottoms. Now, could there be a liquidity grab down here? There sometimes is, but I'll tell you, 68% of the time, by the book, it tells you that you should hit the target, which is somewhere like 81. We're going to look at where that exactly is here, but that's a double bottom, right? And so far, you can say it has been somewhat respecting it. And the idea is the double bottom stopped the trend. And then the next thing you knew, we broke the previous high with a higher high. Okay. And then we made a higher low with a bit of a double bottom there too, which then hit the target perfectly. 68% of the time, that double bottom is supposed to break to the upside. It did exactly that. All right. This was a textbook call for a double bottom. Let me clean it up. I know I'm graffitiing it, but this is a textbook call for a double bottom. As is this so far, as long as we continue to the upside and hit the bigger target. The bigger target, how would you find it? You take the neckline to the head. I go wick to wick. I didn't always, but I do now. And there's to the middle, and it tells you somewhere at 76, 70. I think it was almost extended to 77,000. There we go. Yeah, I keep getting about somewhere around the $77,000 level, and It may take its time on the daily for it to finally finish. Okay. And then you got this shoulder, this head, this right shoulder idea. So there's, that builds a story for me that we're going to the upside. We just may need a little bit of a pullback here to kind of reset the channels, get the daily ready to rock, and put things into perspective. We had a beautiful pump and 1, 2, 3 days of loveliness, and we gapped away from the 21-day moving average, a known signal for me to take profits. Look, every single time we gapped away, and we'll take you through this many times just so you can understand it. But what you'll do is, you're away from the 21. At this point, I'm already telling my people, so I'm like, Stokes are high, away from the 21. Like, I might scalp the smaller time frames until one of them kicks me out like you see me do, but eventually, no way. And look, we get too high, you come back. Where are we coming back? For this 20. And you can see the 21 reaching out. You can see price coming to it. Like, they want to meet. When they meet, we can usually hang out again. And look, then we hung out and then boom. That's why I teach my students to trade when price comes back to the 21 and the stochastics get low. What will happen is the MACD will turn with low, the white channel. The Stokes will turn, and then the flag will come down. Most of the time, I trade like this. You see me do it all the time. I'll set the trade up before it happens. I'll have this trade like this. I do this all the time in my trading group. And I'll say, watch, I'm like, daily's too far for the 21. I'll pull a fib. And I'll say, it's likely to come to the 618 here, somewhere into this pocket, and meet the 21. I said, at that point, the Stokes will get low, and I'll prepare to get into my trade. I do this for a living. Like, this is my model. Like, I shouldn't even do this because I'm giving you exactly what I do. And a lot of times, what you'll find here is some hidden bullish divergence, possibly too, if you can catch the RSI. Let's see. Not every time though, but there it was. I mean, you clearly had this kind of a downtrend on the RSI while you had an uptrend in price action. That's hidden bullish divergence, if you took it from this pocket there. And then the Stokes got low when you touched the 21 and you bounced off the golden pocket. I mean, this is what I'm showing you. Anyway, I teach this in my class. You definitely want to know this stuff. Life or Vision trading course. Okay. It's the last Saturday of every single month. It's there at the corner of the screen. Hit the QR code or the link below to find out more. I'm telling you right now, it'll blow your mind. I love teaching that class. It gives me great joy. Costs $150 one time, and for the rest of your life, you get a PowerPoint. And honestly, every single market moves like this. Tesla will trade like this. Forex will trade like this. And you'd be like, how? I don't know why or how. But once I give you the actual model to the market, you will be able to dominate almost any market. Doesn't mean you're going to be right every time. Sometimes you might get in there and it might go a little lower. But if you stick to the script and take the constant process, like right now, I'm not taking huge trades that are going to risk my whole portfolio on a massive long until I see the daily come back, 21. I just showed you exactly what occurred. And again, here we got high, we came back. Now, once we pumped, we came back. Now, once we lost a different story, we probably lost the 200 MA on like the 1 hour, you know what I'm saying? And then that starts to cascade down. Once you lose the 4 hour, I always say, hey, you're going for the daily 200, right? And we know that succession. We understand how the price action moves down. We understand how the price action moves up through moving averages. Anyway, I called this shoulder, head right shoulder, if you remember correctly. That was, I believe, into the Trump rally in July, yep. And then we had the dumpage. We lost the 200 MA. I get very bearish then. We regained it. I get very bullish. As long as the daily keeps above this yellow line, we are in a good shape for a massive move to the upside here until later October into November. The second we lose this yellow line and do a bear test here, I would have to concede to a short. And we'd be looking to short the market behind this point of control. Underneath it, I guess, back down to 54.8. I'd be ready to short this. I'd be ready to long it. I know exactly how to do it if we need to. Someone may take a massive short here and just want to wait. I'd rather take the confirmations. See what I do, I don't post up on perfect areas here because price action can reverse you occasionally. I like to wait for confirmations and then trade sectional moves inside. So once we understand it's going to go here, then you see me scalp, and then I take shorts out of there. Once this bounces, I might have a bigger trade open, and then you're going to see me scalp. And I don't have days, well, we hit again, because I know the trend will be in my favor, and a lot of my plays will play out. Those flags, the way I trade, that heavy bullish bias that I have will come out. See, Once you know your bias, use your bias to your strength at the time. See the caffeine, wow, it's really punching me out right here. Man, come in, you're making me teach, man. Sorry, guys. I feel like Jim Carrey right now. Somebody stop me. Anyway, so let's take a look here. So we're coming back down here to that 21. This is like 90% accurate that's going to happen. Now, sometimes when you're very bullish, the flag will protrude to the upside or more laterally. The more of a violent move you have away from the 21, the more likely you're to come down to it and pull that fib to that 618. This is very similar to Master Friend does when he's drawing the cup and handle and he's getting in at his goal, at his money printer. I mean, we do the same. We realized one day we sat together and we're like, oh, it's like, it's the model, man. He's like, and we looked at me. He was like, it's the model. You know, he has another way of fine tuning it, and he knows the timing of the market. And what he'll teach you is what happened. What's so cool about what Master Friend teaches. And if you want to learn, we have an extra $300 course. Like he does mentor. I feel it's like more of he basically asks you more questions. He's going to be on you. Like I run the trading group. I'm posting constantly things. I got to find the way the market's moving and really keep us in tune and make sure I'm not making horrible moves with large portfolios, right? And then, you know, for me, my portfolio, I don't touch yours. Just want to make it very clear. I'm not a financial advisor. I'd never touch your portfolio for any reason. But I'm managing my money at a large scale, and I know it's a very, very and basically you shadow me in my trading group and you watch kind of what we're doing, and then you also see the trades. Master Friend does 3 times a week. He'll post he'll go over the sessions, and what he's really going to teach you, and I just want to put out his flyer here, and it's also on our website, but he was going to teach you, which is really cool, and hit the QR code of the link right there. But what he's going to teach you, one more time, but what he's going to teach you is when you look at a candle, right, you'll see that it has a wick to the either side and goes up or down. Bitcoin at 67,000 even right now, so don't stress too much. But then look, say that is the weekly candle. But look, how much happened inside that? If you go to the daily, right, you're going to have all these little candles inside the daily. And he's been studying all these movements and liquidity inside the weekly candle, and kind of just shows you how the daily moves. And like, he's understood how the first week couples with the second week, where you get the premium, where you get the discount, how it flows. All right. This is a really important idea. I've had my call up the whole time. And you never said a word. No. I love you. God bless you. May God bless you. I'm James Dean over here and you don't care. That's fine. No worries. It's about the information. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for jumping on in. Nobody said anything about my caller, man. This is so funny, man. What's your primary time frame? Honestly, I used to have one. I'm kind of like, I really like the daily and the 4 hour. They command the most of the time frames. You know, it's very rare that when they tell you what's going to happen, other time frames say no. Very, very rare. You know, for the most part, those are going to be the stronger time frames that dominate. All right. Yeah. Thank you for the questions. I really appreciate you people that are really into the education. So look, this is a likely move here, you know, and it's not bearish div, but I'll be honest. See how that swings high and that swings pretty flat. That is a divergence, because what divergence means, all right, and what you don't have to understand is all this stuff is derived from real math, calculus, right? Like when you say divergence, like that stuff comes from another mathematical, scientific equations and stuff. And so what it means, see how this line goes this way? That's a debate. I'm a little off, but that's the trajectory of this line in general. And this one will go somewhere like this, right? And you can see that these lines, if you were to pull it this way and pull it that way, they'll divide each other somewhere in this section. And so whenever the movement of the RSI and the movement of the price action from one hub to the next, swing high to swing high, swing low, whenever that will be a cross section from the angles of where you draw those lines, that is what divergence is. Don't you understand? The lines divide each other as they merge towards each other. Dividing, merging, diverging. The merge word with dividing. And so what people try to teach you is divergence is they'll never give, so I teach my students really how to find divergence on another higher level and to how to really conceptualize what divergence really is and what it means. Okay. So anyway, that is, hidden. And so not, that's hidden for most people. They don't realize, but I mean, a lot of people did see that. I'm not going to say we're the only ones, But so there's some bearish divvy there for sure. Okay. Just as here, like you had exaggerated, like this is an uptrend here, but you could see on the RSI, you had a downtrend. And then this one's more obvious divergence. Again, if you were to pull this line this way and pull that line that way, they would come and divide each other. Agreed? Because this trajectory would come here, and this would go down, and somewhere around this area, these two lines would divide each other. Understanding why divergence occurs, how it is, and what it is on a scientific level can actually make you more of a... So when I look at the charts, I'm not looking at the charts like most people. I don't see the names and the numbers like most in like the equations and the connections to the real world. I see a complete anomaly of zeros and ones and just take it scientific data math. You know what I mean? And I find that's how you can counter trade the herd, because when the herd, the herd is taking in the data unlike a bot. So if you can bot into your mind and really take in the data, and again, sometimes I get pulled into emotions and I'm not perfect, I'm a human, but I do a really good job of just botting myself, like, and reminding myself, like, every loss is just like part of the movement, you know? It just means I keep trading and I have a data set. You know, once I stop trading and I'm in fear, then that's when it's over. Okay? It's never over as long as you keep continually moving. I know. Crazy, right? I found that to be true, and over time I've been profitable. It's crazy. I've proven it to myself. Even me, who was a doubter at first, became profitable. Even when I thought it wasn't possible. There was times where I said to myself, this is never, a day trading I could hold and hodl and all that, but day trading was extremely hard for me. And I wanted to conquer that, because it done way more than it should have. It was at 4K, then it was at 2.5. If you're in the market, it only makes sense to take a long. Yeah, so the daily suggests that we go back to the 21-day moving average. And I'm like 90% sure this will happen. Whether we go sideways, we could kind of trend slowly to the upside. That's the most bullish scenario, is somehow, some way we trend, And what I do as I project these two ideas, and I name this, I call it the Twisted Sister. All right? I don't know why I did it, but I did. And so it can go either way, and we watch. It's most likely coming down. This will also retest the previous resistance. And it'll solidify 65,000 as a strong support section, which will really propel us further back to 68, which will help us. 1, 2 didn't get through. 3, 4, we busted through the door. And then we can come back into this section of liquidity here and deal with this. And then once we crush that, we're done. So like a strong bounce off 64 is like a kid that learns to swim, gets a little scared, comes back to his dad. They say, you can do it, you could do it. And it's like, and then, or this is more, no, the bicycle is a good idea. You push your kid, they ride the bike, they get a little scared. They come back, you're like, oh, you had it, you just had to go a little further. They come back and then you give them one last push, but that's the push that really gets them. And next thing you know, they're like, wow, I really rode like the longest ride, and I did it. And so they just needed to come back for that one last reassurance, that one last push before they, and what that would do is it would be really awesome, because it would solidify that 65,000 is just not going to break again. It would really be a call to the market. And once that happens and people see that, the bots will respond, people respond, and people will really load up on alt on a major scale, because they're still saying, well, what if it loses here? And this is a fake out breakout. It very well could be a fake out breakout. This could be a fake out. And so the sad thing is I don't know what's going to happen. All right. I wish I could sit here and tell you all it's going to go up for sure. We're all going to make money guaranteed. And that's just wrong of me to say. And that's just not the facts. The facts is I don't know what's going to happen. And I have to be factually honest with each and every one of you. I have no idea what's going to happen. All right. Let's be honest. I know nothing but the fact of my own ignorance. Okay. And so I have to build a wealth of knowledge every day to even compete with how absolutely ignorant I am, because the world is so big and I am only so young. Okay. So look, as this continues to go into this corner, I'm going to be watching Bitcoin and looking for that bounce. Now, if we ever lose this key level, specifically once we lose 65,750, it looks to me 700, maybe a little 65.8, we're going to be coming to test this trend. If we lose that trend, which is 64.8, we're going to come and test this bottom trend line, which is about 63.4. And then see this POC on the daily, the point of control. Now, if we end up ever losing, and this is my strategy, like here's a strategy. We regained what? The POC and the 200 at around the same time. If you see price action getting close to that idea, So let's go back in time again, and I'm gonna give you another gem of how to trade a bigger time frame. This is almost better than me showing you my live trade so much. A lot of the days, before I did live trading all the time, I was just really educating at a high level every single day. And I have to choose at one point which I'm going to do most of that day, depending on the market structure or what's happening. Bitcoin's still flat at 66,960. It's moved literally between a $60 to $120 spread in the last 30 minutes, while I've been teaching you this long-term bigger strategy and showing you where it's likely going to go in the future, which is going to be, structurally hit every single thing you own and really nail, have everything to do with what you're doing on the long term. So I highly believe this is the most important data you want. Of anything, of any channel, of anywhere, no matter if it's looking for gems or this and that. You want to know where Bitcoin's likely going to go in the next 2 weeks, because you'd like to plan out positional entries that are going to really be life-changing. And to do that, I think technical analysis creates the best opportunity. I tried it both ways, and TA really, by using TA, you have seen me all buy bottoms many times. You have seen me get into Bitcoin when no one else was thinking of it, when the fear was at the highest, and I love when this fear gets pretty high. Remember what I said yesterday? I said, wow, the greed's pretty high. I said, yeah. And what happened? We got a little bit of a pullback. It's interesting. I said it out loud too. I was like, why are we at 73 so fast? And everyone said, oh, I thought that reading wasn't good. And I was like, I don't know, man. Every time I don't trust this, it is right. And we did get a pretty nice little pullback there. And even then, I would like us to get back into here. So it almost suggests we could get slammed, So let's get that slam back to 66. Maybe even a little bit of a wick down to 6 into the 65. Let's get everyone really freaked out who doesn't know how to read charts and realize that's a key area on the weekly to bounce, or the daily. So life are always on the grind, climbing on the charts, leaving doubts behind the bar. They say drinks are free with my mom. It's just me and BTC. You're funny. No drinks over here. Smash. All right. Volume is low today. Amen. Yeah. Okay, so it looks like there's just more liquidity to the downside for BTC. All right. People don't like hearing that. They want me to say it's all October. All right. But remember, what I was trying to show you is, and it would show the point of control, but not when you're back. But the point of control was right here. There was a big node in the VRVP, and you were about to cross the 200 MA. And whenever you're about to cross the 200 MA, you can front run that idea that it's just looking likely you're going to get the punch, right? And we would eventually break through the VRVP and pump. So my whole thing is, if we reverse this idea and we ever see us lose the point of control on the VRVP right here and the 200 MA at the same time in this local time frame of price action, that's no go. All right, that would spell a likely move to the you'd gap through the VRVP right down to 60,200. So I'm not all bullish, I'm not all bearish. I believe in the long run they're going to continue to print money to zero, and they usually print money during an election. And so from what I've learned in the past and assume about the markets, but yet again, I am assuming, it does suggest there's a higher probability based on, and it is on data, that we're going to get a pump here, and Bitcoin will respond to that as the dollar loses value. But, I don't base anything on anything. I take it one step, one day at a time. Hey, Sam, Nero Coin, whale buys. Hey, thank you. My mentality is the last couple of days. Went to work out this morning and feel 100% better. You just have to work out. I'm telling you right now, it'll change everything. Yeah. Can this be caused by upcoming? Yeah, there'll be a quick move down, then right back up. Yeah. Hey, Sam, Nero Coin, whale buys heavily. Yeah. I feel like we're actually going to reverse soon. My mentality is the last couple of days. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, man. Yeah. A lot of alts are strong at the moment. I'll take a look at altcoins first. We're going to spend probably an hour on the alts. It's about 11:50. And I attempt to do alts between like 11:15 and 12 every single day. But when Bitcoin price action gets interesting, that's when it So anyway, daily looks interesting. Get a little spike in price action here, reminding me to kind of get on my move. So let's get to the 4 hour. The 4 hour could definitely reverse price action here. It could. Now, you remember what I said. The daily could have an uptrending flag as it pulls the 21 to it. If that's the case, we're going to have something do the 4 hour will do something like this. And we'll bounce here. What you're looking for is some hidden bullish divergence. I mean, that swings up. Well, that tends to swing down. It tells you that the trend will continue to the upside. It says you're going to break this high before you break this low. And that is a hidden bullish divergence there on the 4 hour time frame. That kind of bends the idea that, there's a chance. Then we get to the 1 hour time frame, and so now I'm like, okay. And look, we had to dissect price action on a granular level, right? In granular level is, I think it's like a grain of sand, like from the small components to the bigger one, right? From the grain, you know. So we start small from the, or we start big and we zoom in, but we eventually do get to that micro analysis. So, I mean, that's a falling wedge. Falling wedges break up 68% of the time. All right. If they break down the base, the length of the base here, and this would be a pretty fast dump. It does have a bit of a rounded top. Rounded tops do not pay the bills. It could end up making an inverse cup and handle. If it makes the top and makes the handle like so, and it could dump. Could be, and what that also resembles is a double top at about 68,000. So I'm open-minded to anything, but right now you got divergence on the indicator that I use, which is pretty strong. All right. And you have a possible move back to the upside for Bitcoin. MACD wants to turn as well. And 67,000 just maintaining really, really strong here. So is this the reversal? I mean, they brought it up. They started, okay, 4 hours ago, like, let's say 6 in the morning, they dumped it. Then they pumped it. Then they dumped it. Then they pumped it. I mean, I'll be honest, they chewed me up with the 1 minute today and the smaller time frame, you know, right there we got the pump. But then look, they kind of went sideways here. Ended up making kind of, look, this rising wedge. I guess that would break out like so. And look, we just went up, bounce, 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 and we fought the 200 MA. On days when it's a little sketchy, I've been learning to wait for the 5 minute to break the 200. Right? And that has been serving me pretty well. So like if the 5 minute breaks the 200, look, we have a bit of a double bottom here. Clear as day, right? That measured move is somewhere here because you take the neckline, like same thing I showed you on the bigger time frame, brings you to 67.8. We would defy all the liquidity on BOOKMAP, which is odd, but has happened in the past, right? They just could be just a whale that leaves the liquidity there, and then the other liquidity builds on top. I've seen it. There's a little bit of movement right there at 67.6. You see that? We could go into that. It could go either way, but it's still, you know, you expect when a game moves up like that, alts would follow, but that's not the case this time. Alts are dumping, and Bitcoin dumps, they will dump even harder. It's okay. Take a deep breath. This is the perfect time, in my humble opinion, to accumulate alts, right? So again, my signal was, you know, you get in when you break the 200 MA on the 1 minute. We chewed on it with a double bottom, and then that actually hit the target. I mean, right there, that's the double bottom right there that hit the target. You see? 1, 2. You would take the measurement from there to there, and bang, that nailed it. And again, crossing the 200 MA and then holding it shows for the, you know, this, and then there's that short squeeze to the upside. Look, almost a bit of a kind of a shoulder, head right shoulder. It's messy, but it looks somewhat there. And so now it's okay. You don't have to get the 1 minute, even though I'm already like, oh, I know some lifers like, oh, 1 minute did cross and it did pump, just like he said. Dang it, you know. And it seems like it works the best around the time after they grab liquidity, and then when they start to kind of reverse the market. Master friend, do you think there's a possible, or not do you think, but you know, from what you do and how you study the markets, do you see a possible reversal here? Or am I just drinking the lemonade here, drinking the Kool-Aid? Or, you know, because here's the deal. I mean, you can see this is a bit of a triple bottom here. We first made an Adam and Eve double bottom. It was clear to me, but they played with that, which they usually don't. That's an Adam and Eve double bottom. Then they made the double bottom. I mean, it was 1, 2, 3, 4. They did a quadruple bottom off of 66,800. Pretty crazy, right? When you think about it. So we're looking for a move here above this 200, and then boom. And again, even today, cautiously, there's your gap in the liquidity. So there's kind of your trade of the day, right? The bounce off 67.4 after you get above there, and then riding a quick move to possibly 68K, 67.9, right? Now you crack through that, liquidity could continue, but that would be a great little swing trade to be able to kind of, you know, mangle the market here. Again, BOOKMAP against me with liquidity to the downside. I usually like to take the trades when everything is set. This isn't the case right now. It could go either way. All right. So now, you have to understand, like, how do I feel? Like, I like to go sailing when it's 5 to 15 mile an hour winds, partly cloudy, and the seas are 2 to 3 feet. You'd be like, well, it's partly cloudy. The wind's 15 to 20, but the seas are 6 feet. I can't go. Very similar to trading. Like, I like to go when BOOKMAP shows the same thing that my trade shows me, and the liquidity lines up. All right. Doesn't mean BOOKMAP's always right. There's been times I haven't taken it, and I was like, we went the opposite. There's times where I've counter traded BOOKMAP. Sometimes you just get this intuition, and I go the other way. I can't explain why or how. Right. It's like the bots want to go where the BOOKMAP is, but the retail won't let them. They're just like, no. I mean, there was that documentary on Bitcoin that came out. Popularity for Bitcoin is gaining. The search, I think, hit an all-time low on Google, which usually, or for the session, not in totality, but for this period, and then it kind of tells you, well, look, now you can see Bitcoin starting to make what's called an ascending triangle. It's got more of a flatter top. I guess you can even call it here. Have fun. We'll call it a symmetrical, because it does have this. And that just occurred because the 5-minute candle just gave us that. And again, we still have 1 minute and 16 seconds until that candle closes. So 67.7 and all right, 66.5. You're in a symmetrical triangle here in the 5-minute. You have a 50-50 shot in a second here as you get tighter to pick apart which way you're going to go. All right. And this is it. And then you can see, like, you're kind of in the middle of the gap hanging on that little node. And you either come back into the chunk or you'll push out. So there you have it. I mean, because we triple bottomed, the bears tried. I mean, why? It definitely shows the bears are. However, the more you hit an area, the more likely you are to break it. You come down one more time. I mean, I don't see how that wouldn't break. I'm looking at Wolf on ETH. $600 million market cap now. You guys love that Wolf. Too many lines of the chart. Am I trying to? God bless you, Arturio. We love you, man. Your triangle typically started to break more to the upside in the last days than to the downside, to be honest, Sam. I need to take to the market maker. I'm not mad, just disappointed. I know, right? Yeah. So here we are on the next, I'd say 15 minutes, Bitcoin's gonna make a move. Next 5 to 15 minutes. All right. A new 5-minute candle just closed, and kind of it looks like cat ears, does it not? It does look like cat ears. Okay. I'm going to go all the way with this one. Little whiskers, little dots. All right. Little tongue sticking out. Anyway, little cat earry. And being below the 200 MA is a bearish signal, especially on the 5 and I believe the 15-minute also. So another cool thing is, look, shoulder, head, right now. If you get above the 200 MA on the 15, that could be a locked in long. So that's another thing I could wait on. So you wait for this. If this breaks out, you cross the 200 and the 5, boom. Then you look to cross the 200 and the 15. I mean, that's double boom. And that really could start the reversal. And really, if you look at the 5, I mean, that's some bullish divvy, because in general, you're trending up on this RSI while you're trending somewhat down on price action there, and that is a bullish divvy. And you can even see the indicator has the green R, which also felt there was divergence there, which means that was liquidation events on BOOKMAP, which usually produces a bounce and tells you that's where they got the most of the liquidity. Doesn't mean I'm right every time. I'm just trying. What I'm doing is teaching you. All right, I'm not trying to tell you I'm the best and I know it all. Just teaching you information you can use later on. You might interpolate it. You might take that information and do somewhat different, do different things with it. But at least you'll know how to use it and you'll know it exists. I didn't even know this stuff existed for 7, 8, 10 years, okay, of my trading career. Sam, you started trading. How did you balance the work life and the family life? I have so much going for me at the moment, but I'm really struggling to balance everything. You're a legend. I will be honest, when I first started doing this hardcore, my daughter was just born, mostly, right? It was 10 years. She's 10 now, so about 10 years ago. I've been trading for 17, 18 years. But the first 4 or 5, I just, I was reading things and investing, buying and selling stuff, right? I didn't use technical analysis on a daily basis. Then I started trading gold and silver on the New York Stock Exchange with JNUG and JDST. This is a cat ears pattern. It's 2 tops with the lower high there. It's pretty bearish. I have to say, it's starting to say we're going to break that line and bounce. However, Bitcoin has been very unpredictable on the smaller time frames the last few days. And anything could happen here. The bullish divergence is strong. This is where there's a lot of fear to enter. If there's a lot of fear to enter, it's usually a good entry. I do have to say that, because most people wouldn't do it. My eyes can't see divergence. My wife took care of the child. And what happened is my wife eventually, my wife never worked. I didn't want her to work. Once my child got to be about, I think 3 years old, she did go to school, and then my wife got a job as a teacher. We figured it was time she could get and she wanted to. She said she really wanted to have, have a career or whatever. I don't know. So, I always wanted her home with the kids doing the thing, but even at one point she said, we were trying to get ahead, and it's hard in this world, and I wasn't as committed to being that manly household man that would take care of everything, work 7 days a week. Like, I wanted my weekends, and I hung out with my friends, and I was immature. See, now I work 7 days a week, and I realize I'm head of household. And you won't find me out with the boys. You know what I mean? I don't do that. And I'm sorry if some people think, oh, you're missing out. I mean, sometimes I should have a little more, quote unquote, guy time. But man, I'm only on this earth for so long, and I got 3 daughters, and they need me, man. And so I know some guy time is cool, and I find some time here and there. But dude, I have a hard time dividing my attention between the baby, my 3.5-year-old, and my 10-year-old now, and making sure they all get a piece of daddy without feeling left out. That's something I never knew was going to happen. And so I give everything to my kids. Everything. And to my trading group. And there's really not much time for me to hang out and waste my time with people. I like that about my life. It's very scheduled. It's very documented. I know exactly where I'm going to be and what I'm going to be doing. All right. So watching this 5-minute time frame getting very tight. And honestly, it helps you stay based and channeled into what you're doing. Right, so people aren't there to take it. Are you letting the long from the morning cook? I'm not in a trade right now. No, I'm not in a trade right now. The volatility is just a little too crazy for me. I want to see if we can go above the 200 MA. But BOOKMAP says we go lower, man. It's usually pretty spot on. They just sent a dart out there, blah. Right? Felt like it's starting to break trend there. You try to edge it out, I mean, it kind of doesn't look like a triangle anymore. So one thing, once you kind of keep breaking the trend line to the point where it really loses the 45-degree angle, I found that's when the channel really begins to lose its basis. And that's cat ears there, which likely wants to send you to 66.5. I mean, BOOKMAP says that you're going all the way to 66,000 on the floor there. You inspire me at 63 years old. I still have 40 more years ahead of me to enjoy the fruits of life. Amen, you do. Family worth more than gold. Amen. Amen. What do you think of using game theory on trading? I do it all the time. 100%. And why? What is game theory and what do I mean? Well, game theory I use is more like war theory in my head. That's kind of what game theory is, because the biggest game is war. And so the idea, what I tell people is knowing what's going to happen and telling yourself what's going to happen, right? Like, look at that crazy move up and crazy move down. Like, what a wick on the 5-minute time frame, But so you tell yourself what's going to happen in trading. And that's like telling yourself how the enemy is going to capture you or, take you out in a war. And you don't. Nobody knows that. You know the possibilities of how it can happen, and you train to protect yourself from all of them, right? But if you just protected yourself from one, then there's likely you could get hit from the others. So when you tell yourself you know where price is going for sure, and you don't look at all the possibilities, that's very similar to not using game theory and thinking you're a know-it-all and going into war. So you got to know, I know nothing but the fact about ignorance is the key here to everyone on this channel. I repeat it constantly. It keeps us humble, staying in the present moment, and keeping a good relationship to God and submitting to God, like submitting to God. What I mean submitting, it means full-blown submission. Every person you meet was made by God. If that's the case, then you have to treat them with respect, no matter what their age, race, creed, or color. You know, it doesn't matter, any of that. None of that matters. And if you're truly believing in submission, you must be a good person no matter what. Like, and it doesn't mean you're not going to fall. It doesn't mean you're not going to sin. It doesn't mean you're not going to make mistakes. It's about recognizing them every time you do, asking for forgiveness and moving on, right? And having a connection on a daily basis, and realizing that the devil does exist, and that we must always protect ourselves from the demonic vices that come at us as humans. It's going to happen. I don't care how great you are. I am not a saint. No one here is. All right. But we make habitual ways to fight those urges, and that's kind of like, if we all gave into all those urges, where would we be in life? You see, there would be no family structure. Every man will be out with multiple, you know what I mean? It would not, and it's kind of the society that we are living in. It's very, a faithful couple is few and far between, it seems. Half of all marriages end up in divorces, or more than half, I guess now, right? And so kids are growing up in broken homes. So look, this is the possibility here of a breakout on the 1 hour time frame. Right, and we've been toying with this idea all day though, and we just haven't been able to get it. I studied hundreds of near-death. So did I. I did many of I'd studied near-death experiences for years. After listening to Coast to Coast one night, I got deep into them, and I did I spent years on those, neardeath.com and all those websites. Yeah, I did that. UFO. I mean, I did a lot of just study. I spent a lot of time studying information instead of just watching nonsense. If I found out something was intriguing, I would research it. Cryptocurrency, you name it, it didn't matter. And online has so much information for you. There's so much information for everybody here online. George Norrie, man, changed my life. Coast to coast, baby. You know it. I'd be up listening to my radio on whatever AM station they broadcasted to at the time. So I could risk 475 for 1675. I like that. That ain't bad. 4.75. It's all 475. Look at that. It's all kind of together there. 67,000 seems to be holding for Bitcoin. We have some bullish divergences. It says yes. The liquidity says I'm going to get pounded though. All right. And it makes me cautious. So I learned more from this channel than any other using TA. And I've made some money just from watching the live streams. I've taken your course and master friends. Amen, Scott. God bless you. My dad was dead for a moment. After that, he now goes to sing at church. Amen. Sam, have you seen an AI chat on Twitter that launched as GOAT? 7 days holding gains. Interesting. Thank you. Have you tested this? No, thank you. And I don't think I want to. Don't do that stuff, please. Art Bell started it all. He did. Yeah. So I just been cautious. Every time I see Bitcoin get some momentum like that, see, it gets kind of dragged back down. It sketches me out a little bit, but the flag on the 1 hour is a possibility. I might wait for the confirmation of the 15-minute to get back above that 200 MA. We got a candle to close above that. There's a good chance we can get the reactive move. We did go over our small time frames. We did find but look, we're hitting a resistance at 67,200, 67.2, which is the weekly support of resistance. We know 67.2 is going to give us a problem. The fact that we're at 67 is beautiful, right? Like, it's so weird. Today seems so weird and bearish, right? It's so weird. People are like, altcoins. It's so strange how dark and dreary it seems, but we're at 67K. Like, just 2 days ago, we were at 62,000 or even, you know what I mean? It's just crazy, right? Full moon tonight, by the way. Everybody, it's your Hunter's Moon. In October, Hunter's Moon coming at you. So remember, keep that in mind. So there's your flag there for Bitcoin. Do I take the trade or not? I don't know. I've taken it a couple times and they've kind of whack-a-moed me. However, I didn't take the bigger time frame. I've been kind of trading small ball. So once I get hit on small, I start looking at, hey, I'll swing trade the bigger one. The 1 hour looks interesting, like it could break out. Stokes are low. The 4 hour finally did come back down to the 21 and did bounce off the 21, which is a bullish sign. That's a bull flag right there. And there's some support or resistance, you know, a bit of an SR flip from wick to wick there, see? At 66.5, so, you know, we may have found the reversal here today. I just don't have the stones to pull the trigger here. And there's got to be a reason. You know, the way my trader instinct is telling me to ease, there's got to be something, you know, there's a reason why I don't want to go full blown into the trade yet. And there we have it. Look, it's like, wow, like, and we had that unemployment data today, which came in, I believe, you know, I mean, I say bullish whenever it's pretty, you know, sideways action. So we had it right here at about 8:30 in the morning. We had core retail sales number one, right? Which is actual was 0.5. Forecast at 0.1. Previous was 0.2. All right. Month over month. And then retail sales 0.4. That's a good sign if retail is having more sales. Agreed. But then unemployment claim came in exactly as forecast at 241, which is kind of a nothing burger. It doesn't mean we're bad or doesn't mean we're good. I think it means we're good. We're not going the bad direction. And that should be somewhat bullish. You know, you would expect it a little more of a push up. And then tomorrow, we don't really have anything coming. Now, some FOMC stuff, some budget balance, nothing that really should really play around. Building permits. I guess that does say how many building permits are coming in. If that's lower, it'll tell something about the real estate market for sure. I'd like to take a look at that. You know, that's lower than 1.5 million. So we want to see how many building permits are coming in. That's important. Housing starts too. It's funny, now when you own more real estate, you really want to see that data a little more. However tweaked it is, right? I'm almost like, my mom was like, well, how can you trust much of it? But so high, you know, you're getting that lower high. It looks like you're going to take the road to the downside. Look, there is a bearish div there on the indicator. So again, I've clearly showed you that I wait to see if I could take advantage of a probability. I don't have no idea where price is going. I just look to take advantage of a probability if I can, or avoid one. I might want a long and then decide, hey, I'd rather just not. When Bitcoin gets on a roll and starts to pump, I really don't like to short it much. I short, you know, the cha, or, you know, when I have to, I'll do what I have to do. But preferably, I look more for longs than shorts most of the time. Like, I'd love to nail this reversal today while everyone else thinks we're going down. That's like that's my goal. And use my strategies and skills that I have, which is like, okay, I'm good at identifying patterns people can't see. There's a bit of an inverted head and shoulder here. No one will really notice. That's a bit of a cup with a handle, even though it's hard to tell. You know, above the 200 is something I've studied for years. And so if I get those things, it's starting to, and then the divergence really did kick in there. All right. But look, I mean, that's Chop City right there. They're figuring out which way they want to go. We're getting tighter and tighter. What I love about TA2 is if you didn't know how to use the 5 minute, which for years I didn't, you'd just be watching the 1 right now and you wouldn't really understand what's about to happen. But by using the 5, I can understand when we're like what's going to happen and when. I mean, I know there's only so many candles that can fit here now. If they're that width, I mean, 1, 2, 3. The cool thing you can even do is you can hit this and hit the shift button and come here and it'll tell you like, that's 25 minutes. That's so you know in 5 to 25 minutes, because you know technical analysis, you're either going to come pump out of here and get rejected by this 200. It's going to say, no, thou shalt not pass, boom. You're going to bearishly retest, lose this POC, and you're going to dump down to 66.5 and then possibly make a bear flag and maybe go lower to 66,000 and fulfill the big red here. But the cool thing is I've watched small time frames for so long then I know how they behave. And so if we're bullish, so you have to understand that go watch any single asset in the world. And I was actually trying to make the metaphor for this last night in my sleep before I went to bed. I said, how am I going to explain this to everybody in the live stream today? And I said, like, patterns are like the gasoline to the car, or they like the GPS in the car. I was trying to figure it out. But let's say price action is a car, like, because it's energy and the car is the one that has the energy in it. Let's just first say, and the car needs to drive. And the car could either go up or down, right? And the car has to go down the roads. Oh, you know what? Price action are the roads. So like you can't just drive through the forest right here full of trees, right? Your car won't go through that. So you have to take this road, that road, that road, and that road. Same with patterns. Price action's doesn't do this. As wacky as it is, it doesn't just go straight up for 4 days. And then out of nowhere, it goes straight down for 4 days. And then straight up for 4 days. And then it doesn't do that. You know what I mean? I guess it can, but you know. But for the most part, it kind of starts to go up a little bit, comes back, continues up, comes back, continues up. Lose the key support, retest, comes down, support, comes down. And even on the way down, there's some upticks. And even on the way up, there's some downticks. And that's price action for the nut, and it uses patterns to get there. So just like a car can't get somewhere without taking the actual roads, price action can't just out of nowhere, like it's going to get tight inside the symmetrical, and then it's going to choose a direction down. Then it's going to make a bear flag, hit the 21-day moving average and choose the next direction down. It's likely going to follow the actual measured move and bounce off these key levels. Or it's going to come up here, then bounce. It's going to cross the 200 MA. You have to, it all does this. And this is every single asset in the world. It all does this. So once you understand this, you set up the parameters like I do, and you wait for price action to tell you what's going to happen. Like right now, there's a 50% shot that we go up or down. As crazy as that is, I know that, and I'm okay with that. If this was a little tighter and as a bull pennant, it would be a 68. This is a higher low. That adds the, here's a high low. There's a higher low there. I did see some bullish divvy. It starts to tell me, okay, I think it's more 54.46. I think it's a little more bullish than bearish right now, if I had to call it. Why? Well, the bears came out of nowhere and dumped the price. They seemed to get us to 66.7, but the bulls stepped in. The bears came down again. They got us to 66.7, 66.8. The bulls stepped in. The bears came down again. The bulls stepped in. And, if the bears were so strong, why the heck aren't we all the way down here by now? We should have been at 66,000 by now. So what's happening? I don't know, but it looks like someone's absorbing the sell pressure. You tell me. It looks like absorption to me. I could be completely wrong. What do I know? I've only been doing this for 17 years. I'm probably just full of old shoes. But, what do you think? I use Bollinger Band special curve, but only at New Year's. This guy's hilarious, man. Oh, my God. The Bollinger Bands can get tight. They're very similar to the moving averages. Whenever the moving averages are close, I would suggest the Bollinger Bands are close as well. All right? And, I'll add them for a second just to kind of show you. I believe I have them in my favorites. John Bollinger, man. Let's see here. I have them as let me get rid of my moving. Yeah. And so look, they are getting close. They're not as close as you want them to be, but they're getting somewhat tighter on the 5. You want to look at them on a bigger time frame, a little further apart than you'd want, but it does mean we can range up or down. On the daily, they're a little far apart too. You'd like them a little tighter than that, suggesting that we do come down, go up and down, and create a tightness first. And you want to see them on the bigger time frame. The idea behind the Bollinger Bands is when they get very close together and close and tight, and they're the same as the moving averages. Like if you use my moving average theory, you're basically trading Bollinger Bands. When the moving averages get tight, I'm in, right? We front run the golden cross. The Bollinger Bands are the same suggestive idea. One thing the Bollinger Bands do is when you get to the top of the range, it kind of tells you you're getting to the high points. So when you hit this line, it usually says you should take some profit. When you hit this line, it usually tells you should be getting in. So recently it did just give a buy signal, and it hadn't hit the top line yet, suggesting that we do have premium to go up to about 71,000 as well. So if you are a Bollinger Band trader, and we did look at it kind of in that sense, it does suggest that it's, we have a little more range to go to be bullish. Doesn't mean it's guaranteed. And let me get back into the smaller time frame for you, because that's, and what I just did is difficult to be able to show you the 5-minute and still zoom out to the weekly and point things out to you. It's something I've been working on for years as an analyst. of how to present these charts to you in the best way so you can see these smaller time frames to the bigger time frames. I conceptualized this whole show to really try to get you to learn the most in the fastest amount of time so we can achieve the goal of this channel, which is to teach as many people technical analysis as possible around the world. If we do that, so many people will remember me and our legacy will live on for years. And and you guys are helping this happen every single day. So getting tight here, it looks like we may be getting bullish. Only time will tell, but I'm leaning a bit more bullish here than bearish for Bitcoin. And remember, the 1 hour wants to rip. 67,150. How cool would that be if we rip to 70K today and just defy the odds? And again, I don't want to be overly bullish. Anything could happen. I'm going to start off on this trade with just one little nibble at 95 for 330. I really want to do 400 for 16. My trader instinct just whispered, go so hard, Sam. They're going to wreck these shorts, but you never know. Is that my emotions talking? I'll bot trade and just take a sample size like I'm used to, and we'll go from there. But I did open up a live trade here for Bitcoin around 67,170. We'll see what happens. We've hit this level multiple times. Feel like once we break in 67.2 is weekly support and resistance. Once you break 67.2, your next weekly support or resistance is 68,000, 68.5. So it's likely you could easily get up there. And you break through that, then 70K comes really quickly because you liquidate all those people that are, so you can kind of see the 67.2 really is 70K in a way because it creates the liquidity run through the. You understand that? A lot of times, like the number before is the next number. I've learned that in time. It took me a long time to figure out of just trading, and then you'll see boom, boom, boom. And you're like, oh, that's what happened. All right. And don't do this at home. All right. I'm trading on XE here if you want to trade. All right. You could also trade on Weeks, our second favorite exchange, or first favorite. We love them both, really. They're great. Weeks is awesome, though. Weeks is really no headache at the end of the day. But they're, Maxi has the least amount of fees in the entire world, and Weeks is right behind them. So you can't really beat it. And they both operate on a high level. So I absolutely love them. If you want to jump in today and trade where we trade, if you want to learn more, go to cryptolifer.com. All right. That's the awesome website where you can find out more about how to lock into my Discord. Every single Thursday night, I share every single thing that I've done. I talk about the week ahead. We break down coins that we're looking at. If there's something new out there that nobody knows, we try to stay on top. We do stay on top of that. I'm not saying I know every single thing in the market, but I do the best job I can. I think I'm a great depository of information to keep you up to date. Deep is a new exchange on that came out on SUI. We were very privy to that. I put it out. It already did a 3. I think went around from like 4 cents to 15, or if I'm correct. I'll have to but that's a key level. So look, here we are, 67.2. We know that's weekly support and resistance. So no matter what BOOKMAP tells me, I know my traditional TA and my fundamentals, and I don't forget them. I always tell everybody that. I love using the extra information on BOOKMAP, but it's very important to have my own thoughts and ideas, right? What? I probably made 3%. I'm the king of 3%. Almost. But that looks very bullish to me. I may have caught the reversal. It took me so long to make that final decision, and they toyed with the price action for a while, and I still could get banged out. It may not have, it may not play out perfectly. And again, that's why you have to never do what you see a YouTuber do. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing I'm saying you should be taking as financial advice. Have your own plan. Get an education. I'm teaching you about moving averages, falling wedges, the point of control and the VRVP, proper risk management, 3-to-1. That's a 4.78 risk to reward ratio. I'm risking 100 for $478. I mean, if I lose, I lose. If I win, though, I win way bigger than I lose. Even if I make half the trade, I make about 250, 300. 60% of the trade, I'm still almost at a 3-to-1. So I don't even need to go all the way to the upside. If we can basically close the 1 hour candle above 67.2, that could actually propel us further to the upside. That closes in 33 minutes and 24 seconds. How did I know that? Right click this and hit countdown to bar close down there. You'll see it. It's also a trading view setting, but make sure it's up here too. You want to know when the bar closes. You're going to get a countdown right there on any time frame you're on, telling you when that bar closes on that time frame. All right. So here we are. Can we get the breakout? If the 5-minute breaks above the 200, my golly gee oh my, you're likely going to come to the 15-minute 200 MA. All right. Looks like they actually could cross around the same time, which is something I don't always see, but that's a double whammy. So I would throw the 5 away completely and just watch your 15. If the 15-minute breaks above the 200 MA, you are going to the moon, my friends. You are going to, or likely, who knows? But it's likely you're pumping that cup and handle to the upside here for Bitcoin. And once you break the 200 MA, I just don't see how you can't get to the next liquidity zone at 68,000. And I could be completely wrong here, but I'm more bullish now than bearish. We are at a resistance. 67.2 is weekly resistance. So I'm playing, I'm high. It's a bit high risk. And the coffee is gone now. Sammy lemon coffee. How am I doing with the caffeine on here? Can you tell? Or is it just the same show as normal? True Strength Index. Yo, Sammy, I'm new here, man. I love the content. I've been watching your lives as you post them. Because I couldn't find time to join the live. But I did, and I'm here. I am. Love it, man. Keep it up. Shout out to Mayor Cologne. We copy your trade, but when you don't keep the trade, let us know. Amen. I mean, so I might cut it off. I might have the guts to cut it off. You might not. I don't know, your trading style. Once you get the trade, you have to have a plan for yourself, though. Everyone have your own plan. Don't copy trade me and then be pissed if I jump out and you don't. All right. I've learned more in a week watching you than 2 years of playing on MixC. Amen. Shout out to Crypot King. Crypto King, you're funny. Crypot King, that's funny. And he has you're funny, man. Wow, strong move here for Bitcoin. Did I call the reversal? I don't know. We're pretty good at it. We do a pretty good job of waiting and patiently and seeing when price action really wants to turn here. Look, there's even a giant double bottom on the 1 hour that I just saw. I didn't see it before. 1, 2, buckle my shoe. 70K and counting. We want 70,000 and we want it now. I wouldn't be surprised. Watch the liquidity just disappear. And next thing you know, it's stacked up. Next thing you know, they rip us to 69 and they were just spoofing us. Sam, I watched 3 screen shares in a row yesterday and you were pretty spot on regarding your price calls. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. That's really good to do, right? Go back and be like, this guy talks a lot. He analyzes a lot. Like, did he just run his mouth 1,000 times? And is he just good at like being flashy and quick? And he's got the voice, he's got the suits. And like, if he just keeps moving, eventually no one's going to call him out, right? I 100% love that you went back and decided, you know what? I want to pick apart what this man says. He moves so fast. He's on so much. What the heck is really going on here from day to day? And it's important. I tell everybody to do that. Really, follow my track record. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised because you'll learn so much if you do that too. You'll be like, oh, that's why he saw that. All right. 67,270 for Bitcoin. I'm telling you, I'm the king of 3%. I can do it every day, baby. And it makes you want to go that 5 for 16, clean up really quick. This would probably be a smaller scalp if we do break that bigger area. I'm sure you have. I'm sorry if I'm making you repeat yourself. No, you're not. God bless you. Never be sorry for asking an amazing question and adding to the chat. Honestly, you're adding to, number one, you're adding to the algorithm by chatting. Number two, you care. You're doing more than just watching. You're partaking. And you're asking awesome questions and being great. So God bless you, man. Never be sorry. Never, never, never be sorry. Shout out to the awesome people here that I'm dealing with in the chat. There's so many beautiful, positive people here. Unbelievable. I really appreciate that. That's awesome. I really like gravitating towards the positivity and seeing that there's a lot of positive people here. Special days for special times. And, more than ever, I think we really need to push positivity. Too many people are bogged down by stress and, divided. And I think we can continually push unity and find a way to change the world together. It's only a matter of time that we can do that. All right. Hope you're okay for the hurricane. 100%. I'm fine. God bless you, man. Yeah. 15-minute dancing on the moving average. Yeah, it's like right there. It's like on it. It's crazy. I mean, this is it. We get rejected by it. We probably dump. We make it through. I mean, it resembles a W. There's a lot of kind of, stochastics a little overbought now. We need that energy, 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 energy. Where's that track? We need that track. Energy, energy. Right? Where's that track that I always played? Energy, energy. I think it's this one, isn't it? I think I got it. Energy, energy. Shout out to everybody here. So can we break 67,250? I mean, this is the weekly support right now. Everyone is watching this. Everybody that knows their bigger time frames is watching this key level on that weekly and seeing if that weekly candle can do damage. All right. I'm seeing the hang on in my life. It is not trading related. When you see the hang on working in your life, it's a beautiful thing that brings so much joy. Thank you. Amen. Heavenly Father. Shout out to Dave Nelson. God bless you, man. Just realized Bitcoin bounced off the 686 again. Spooky, yeah. Would be a crazy snipe if it pumped halfway back. The 15-minute is gapping away from the 200 MA. Look at that. It says that it has to come back. Look at that. I just saw that. Too far from the 21. Unless it can gap up and then come meet it somewhere. But they have to meet for the bigger move to come, however they get together. Big sign here, starting to close a candle in 11 minutes and 20 seconds. We want to close the 15-minute above the 200 MA. We do that, there's more likely of a move to the top of liquidity here at 67,469 and then on the way to 68,000. I'm piecemealing it to you as if it's a meteorologist giving you how the storm's coming and how it will pass. I'm attempting to show you how the trade will move in succession on the smaller time frames and how the bigger, and we're watching that 1 hour, respond here. Look, when you get above the 200 MA, the bots just go nuts. I don't know why, but they do. I've seen it many times. Look at the size of that candle, boy. Look at the size of the candle, man. And now you're up 10% if you are trading like I am. Again, I'm not trying to count my chickens before they hatch. It's a tiny move. Let's see if this can progress further to the upside, but this is what we were looking for. We projected this. We wanted this. I've seen this 1,000 times in my life or more, maybe more. And so it's not really like, oh my gosh, I'm not sitting here, look how smart I am. This is something I know to be true over and over again. If you stake with me and you watch me on a daily basis, you'll be able to see this stuff too, and it won't be that crazy to you. I've been here for 5 years. This is the chop right before the bull. Amen. Yeah, the bots got big wallets, bro. I've been here since 2016. I don't even know how. It's been 8 years of trading cryptocurrency. That's insanity. Time it as well, Sammy. Let's go. Shout out to Mansour. Well, you could see where we were going to go based on the 5-minute time frame. You see? And I told you if we got above the 200 MA, that would be a good move to the upside. We got that. Let's see if we can get the continuation. And look, this is a shoulder, a head, and a bit of a right shoulder. The cup, the handle. Technically, the cup and handle has now played out. Sammy, cup and handy. If you take away the moving averages, right? This was your cup. Master friend, dude. There's his cup and handle right there. I mean, the wicks were treacherous, though. They made it very difficult to position. I still don't even know how I positioned. Technically, I have no idea how I do it. But I use the same systems over and over again. And again, maybe they reverse us today. I'm very skeptical of price action right now. But the 1 hour, so bullish. And look, that was a lot of hard work for me. I've been working since 7 in the morning to figure out what the heck they're trying to do. And they've chopped me out a little bit on the smaller time frames. No way am I telling you I'm perfect. And I never claimed to be. What I am going to tell you is I'm going to work every single day to push as hard as I can to make it happen. I mean, if you took the trade with me, you're in the gains now at 67.5, clearly. So you can't say anything about it. I just gave you another big move to the upside, and I showed you how to do it. And I taught you all my strategies and how I figured out how to do it. I didn't hold anything back from you. I gave it to you, man, because you're a child of God. And if I learn something and I truly believe in God and I submit to God, then I must give you my knowledge. Amen. Amen. If you truly believe in God, you must teach others when you have an edge. If you truly believe in God, you must help others when you gain an edge. You don't take advantage of others just because you get to a higher point in life. That's what kind of the banks do with interest, right? Poor people need money, so they lend it to them at a higher rate, press them for 30-year mortgages. It's kind of a parasitic way to live, man. Honestly, I have to be honest. Like, you know, in a beautiful society where frequency is high, we wouldn't do stuff like that. You know, we wouldn't do stuff like that. And certain religions, I believe, even interest is against it. Like, yeah. Thank you, sir. I made an entry on the inside bar. I saw on the 5-minute. Amen. Shout out to anyone that took advantage of the trade. Shout out to even if you took a small trade today, even if you just learned something small, it's okay. Like, it's all about taking advantage of knowledge today. And again, what if this reverses and we go straight down? Now, look, that was the 5-minute now has hit the measured move of the symmetrical triangle. There's a 50-50 shot. If you took that trade and put a stop loss down here, there's a 50% chance you were going to win it. And remember, I even said it was 56-44. Remember, I said there's an edge the other way because we had the higher low, inverted head and shoulder, and the tight moving average. We defied the bearish div on the indicator. That's why I don't go by what everything that I go by my own instincts. I want to make you at the end of the day, you need to become the indicator. You need to be the thing that takes all the information in and finds the indication to you of what the market's doing. Everyone else is just waiting for a dot or something on a screen to tell them what to do. But like, I'm trying to make you the thing that tells you what to do. I want to change your mind completely. Now, to do that, you need to believe in yourself. You cannot make your own decisions, technically speaking, and just shy away from indicators unless you believe in yourself. To believe in yourself and form convictions, that takes a lot of time, and you have to know yourself. That's why for me, I was unaware of knowing it took a long time for me to even get there. And I knew I was never going to be a good trader if I had no control over my internal being. Show me a man who conquers himself, and I can show you a man who can conquer the world. Okay. You were in a constant state of battle inside internally. All right. That's where you are right now. That's where I was, unless you're in a perfect place and everything's going well. And I'm still there too, because there's things in life that I want to accomplish and I'm not perfect. Now, look, you've now busted through the 200 MA, but you've gapped away from the 21-day moving average. This is when you may want to move your stop loss to break even to avoid loss. Okay? Just saying. All right, if you're scalping, because the further you are for the 21, the more likely you're going to come revisit that. And both price action got really far away, even though they did make it above the 200 MA. So great. And again, I see this, you see this on my channel time and time again. These are likely short squeezes. What is a short squeeze? It's when you're between bigger liquidity and you decide you're going to short the market, but there's someone above you that wants to sell Bitcoin. And you're basically going to get driven into that price action. Your stop loss is likely to get hit, or your account's likely to get liquidated. So you can see here, this was just kind of a squeeze to the upside. And you can see the squeeze, BOOKMAP. And again, was there any liquidity up here? Really, no. It was a sly move, wasn't it? It was. Did we still catch it? We did. How? We trusted the 200 MA. We didn't wait for Big Red to tell us what was going to happen. Now, a lot of people might use BOOKMAP, and they might have shorted the market saying it's going lower. Now they're caught. They've now caught a lot of shorts. The shorts are trapped right now. You have to admit that. They brought it down. They even made me think it was bearish. They lost the 200 MA. It got sketchy for me. I had to use everything in my toolbook here to be able to pull off the right trade for you guys today, bar none. I'm not going to act like this was extremely difficult. So far, so good. Look at this. And what is BOOKMAP? It's a beautiful program that you can download today, and you can get it. I do get commission when you sign up. I greatly appreciate that. And it shows us where the candle, what's behind the candlesticks. It shows us where the liquidity is on the order book. Now, sometimes it can be spoofed. It doesn't mean it's always great. But I'd say 90%, I'd say 80% of the time it's spot on. Like, Eve is currently printing, maybe. Full moon today. Read scripture and live it. God is no debtor to any man ever. I lost my 2 months Everett Robin in one day. Yeah, it can happen if you get too crazy. Did anyone get caught? Just be honest right here. I really appreciate you sharing that knowledge. This live is best so far I've watched, in my humble opinion. I think it's the caffeine. It just really keeps me So here's the deal. Is anybody here lose because they shorted? Just raise your hand. Now, I didn't do it. I'm just kind of. But did you short the market and get caught in the short squeeze? Just let me know. I want to see if anyone did. I just want to ask. I want to ask. Just be honest. I got caught. A lot of people did, right? Okay, so you really need to come in. If you got caught in a short, you really should just come and pay the one. If you lost more than 150 in a short, just come to my live revision trading course. You would highly likely have not have lost that short because you would have been looking at the 200 MA and learning how I use it. And you know in your heart, when you cross that, you're likely going to get liquidated in a short. And I know this, and I teach it every day. And again, it's not going to happen. It's going to happen like 90% of the time. No, I tried to got caught. A lot of people did long though. Put a 333 if you longed like a lifer and you're in gains. Put a 333 if you longed like a lifer and you're in the gain. Okay. And you can move the stop loss to break even now and you can't lose the money. Look at all the 333. So to the people that got caught, see all these people here with the 333s? Thousands of people have gained knowledge from me around the world and have changed their trading style. They're able to see the market in a different way and take advantage of it as it comes to them. All right. They're able to agree that they don't know it all, but yet they can still make a move. And I know you want to be one of these people putting a 333. All right. I know you do in my heart and soul. So this is beautiful. Why? Well, we broke above the weekly support or resistance. So now the daily just needs to close above 67.2. Let's take a look at our daily candle. Still red. I'd like it to close green. But look at the wick on there. I mean, that's pretty crazy too. The fact that that wick's so big kind of tells me this is likely going to close green, but you never know. I'm not going to go that far to say I know what's going to happen. And if the 1 hour can continue on up until this point, it will, because that's our next section, right? I was actually in a long and got spooked by BOOKMAP, so I opened a short and got caught after. Kind of double whammy. I got emotional. Amen. Tried a short at 786.66. Should have just stayed out and waited for my model. I'm shortest in 68. Today was very hard. What they did to people was tough. All right. They made it difficult for me. All right. So, Sam, 1 hour zoom in, but you're in a falling megaphone, brother. You just hit the resistance trend line. No, I'm all set. Yeah, I just disagree, but thank you. Yeah. Who was flopping and groping? Amen. Can you peek at the reef? Yeah. He says 1 hour zoom out a bit. You're in a falling megaphone. Yeah, I just don't see that. Yeah. And a falling megaphone would be a falling broadening wedge, which is a bullish. It's still a bullish sign. I would stick truly to the 200 MAs. If you lose the 200 MA in the 15, then you're going to go back down again. As long as you stay above the yellow 9 now for the rest of the day, you're bullish. Period. You have nothing really to worry about. You broke that POC. You broke this. So as long as you stay above 67.2, as long as you stay above the 15-minute 200 MA, there's no reason to close along. No reason at all. You're kind of free to stay in that long. It should just continue to the upside. You know, stop loss to break even. You could even ride it, or stop loss somewhere very close to the 200 MA on the 15. And ride that puppy to the upside. It's likely you're going to win. And we got in right below that. So technically a stop loss at break even would be below the 200 MA on the 15-minute time frame. The trade's up 14% right now. If you did take the trade, I was at 31x leverage though. I don't know your lev. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know your risk. Okay. My stop loss is basically near break even. If they do reverse this, they do lose this. What I am concerned about is we're away from the 200 day, the 21 day. And so now what has to happen, and this is kind of what I teach, is price action has to come back to the 21 without losing the 200. Might dip a little bit and get back above. It's usually, so what I've backtested in my life now and my theories are, if you touch the 21 above the 200, it's very likely we're going to continue up, like with a more 90% accurate rate. So by watching these two things, I have a very good way of telling what's going to happen to price action with a lot of accuracy too. And people see it all the time. And it's just based on, I've been doing this for a long time and I've seen it many, many times. That's all. I have an edge in the market because I've seen it more than you. That's all. That's all. Today was the best stream of the last month for a lot of reasons. Thank you. Shout out to Highly Trained, man. Going back to the subject of God, he blesses us because he loves us. And he disciplines us because he loves us. He wants us to be proper and be in health. Sam knows. He listens to God. Teach him. Bro, I'm going to join and learn futures as soon as I switch jobs. I have zero time now. Something goes months without a day off. Amen. Me too. I haven't had a day off in years, my friend. Look at the 15 minutes soaring to the upside. The trade we took is booming. And 67.5 psychological. You get above 67.5 and hold that. Beautiful. So let's get a 1 hour candle to close above 67.5. Baby steps. That's 13 minutes and 2 seconds, and then we can kind of begin to build. All right. Shout out to anyone that took the reversal with us, man. This was very, very difficult to figure out. All right. And you know, I'm very, very heavy spot Bitcoin, very, very heavy spot alts. You saw me deploy a lot of money into the market. So, you know, I don't even need to have a giant lever trade open for you to know I have hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars on the line at a very massive positions. My altcoin positions are very big. So people think quitting their jobs to trade is easy. You know, I broke through what 95% of people will never do. And I believe I can help you do it. And if you want to do something, you should hang out with the people that do it every day. You want to trade, hang out with a guy that trades for a living. I trade for a living. I have 6 screens in front of me. I wake up at 6:30, 6:45 every morning and tackle the market 7 days a week. That's 3 white soldiers. This is a known reversal pattern. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. All right. Unbelievable. Beautiful move here for Bitcoin. If we can hold 67.5, I'm loving it. What this is also going to do is pull the 21 to cross the 200. If the 21 crosses the 200, it's more likely that, you know, because we know price has to come to it. Then when you do come back to it, we're not going to lose the 200. I'm teaching you gold right now that you can use preferably between the 1 and the 15 minute, because you want to kind of press this stuff on smaller time frames to scalp. And look at that, man. They try to fake us out. And what if they came all the way back down to 66 now? I don't put it past the man. That's why my stop loss is at break even now. They can't steal my money. Only I can take my money from myself by being emotional. Remember that. It's your emotions that steal your money from you. It's not the market. It's not price action. Stop blaming the exchange. A lot of traders, oh, they move my stop. No, they're going after me. Then how come my stop losses don't get hit on the live stream day in and day out? How come I use a stop loss on every single trade, yet I don't get hit? But you claim they go after everybody's stop. Oh, it's because I'm a known guy and they give me special treatment. No. You see it on the live stream that I don't get stopped out on the trade. All right. You see it regularly. All right. Doesn't mean I don't get stopped out. All right. I'm about to be a great grandma. Could you give me 1 month free? Been learning for 2 years. Need to help my family. Need me to do better. J. Todd. Interesting. 2 already crossed to the 5 minute. Oh, yeah. Yep. Again, we got to get to these 21s now. So I'd watch my 5 or 15. They're both kind of doing the similar idea here, which isn't always the case. Yeah. It's late here in Malaysia, yet Sammy keeps me awake with great advice on the crypto trades. Thanks for changing my life. Let's go, baby. Shout out to Muhun Raj. I love you, man. Put my style. I love how people are watching me in Malaysia right now. Like, all around the world, baby. All around the world. We are a worldly bunch here. The crypto lifers, man. Brother, I'm from India. Please speak a little bit slow English. Oh, come on, man. I don't have time for that. I'm so sorry. You can put it on slow. You can rewatch this on slow. Just go back to the live and behind. I don't know. I'll try my best, man. But I'm sorry, man. I'm a very fast talker. All right. I got to put there's a lot of information in 2 hours. And if I speak a little quicker, I can give you guys more information. So I'm trying to pack it in here because I don't want to waste your time. It's your most precious asset and you give me 2 hours of it. I want to really punch it in. We have a really good watch rate here on this channel, more than almost any other channel in the game. The people that come here really watch the content every single day on a daily basis. English is Indian's official language. Yeah, Sam's next trend is which? Sam, I need you to speak faster, please. Right? Sam, you gotta spit that fire. Come on, man. Also catering to his viewers, which is 90% English, man. Hey, brother, watching from Chicago, please talk faster. Yeah, funny, man. He's one of the grandmoms. Trump with hat on Solana mooning. Can please everyone, Sam, most want to speak up as you always do. Yeah. You guys, there's so many crazy. Trump with hat makes sense to me. I have to be honest. You know, this was happening yesterday, but then it came back or something. I don't know. I think you have to read. I think it's, I don't know. Sam Stee is pimping all over the world, man. Where to trail the stop loss now for BTC? Wherever you feel comfortable, my friend. I trail it below the 200 MA on the 5 and the 15. Simple. All right. And then if the 200 in the 50 cross, you can trail it below the 50. and then start moving it through moving averages. It's a really, really fun way to do it. Remember, psychological is 67.2. We broke through weekly support or resistance right now. Some would have said that I just longed resistance, and I kind of did, right? But I know how to use the 200 MA. See, the 200 MA helps you do things that most people will never see. You'll be actually counter trading the entire herd, and they'll have no idea what you're doing. And it's because you really, you know, yeah. This happened to me here, but then it went perfectly fine the next time I did it. I think I'm doing something wrong here. I don't know. It's weird. Sui Man. You know that guy Superman, and he likes Sui, and then someone made Sui Man. It could, you know, it might gain a little bit of steam, right? Small market cap, but you know, the Sui memes are still pretty pumping. We're going to take a look at the memes here. AI Crystal Node is about to rip. What is that? I'm going to look at it. Banana Gun's hot right now. It looks like it's going to pump. I put it to the trading group. You guys could look at it yourself and do your own TA, but it looks hot. AI Crystal. Yeah, we hit triple gains in the group yesterday. Maxi Elite. Amen. 67,500 holding for BTC. And it may be time to open up a bigger trade and take advantage. I mean, the 1 hour just came back. The 4 hour even came back down without losing the 21 and then pump. I mean, that's what I look for. I look for the price to come to the 21 and pump off of it. The daily may do that sideways move. It may be awesome. We could get to 70,000 on the 4 hour. 4 hour looks pretty bullish right now. Just needed a 16-hour cool off before it could continue to pump. I mean, that rising wedge usually breaks down to where it began, but we're already kind of getting a reversal here. I'm still wary of the move, but I'm going with what it's telling me. All right. If you don't understand those risks, when parabola happens, you long resistance. It's not always black and white. Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's take a look at SEI. Let's take a look at the fan funding right now, actually. Shout out to everyone that took the trade. We gave you a live trade to play it out here. Showed you how we did it. You got the education. If you got that education, we're able to take advantage. And it made sense to you. I'm congrats. Shout out to Lego My Sats. Wash that belly button, Sam. Yeah, thank you, man. I got to get to that. Can you speak on Jupiter? I love Jupiter. Bonk head and shoulder on the daily. Hi. All right, let's look at Bonk, Jupiter, Omni, and Wolf right now. And shout out to everyone that gave Lego My Sats, Boyce 102, Afray, Yonito Zivielza, Crypto Facts Report, Ill Dramatics, DRM7, and Highly Trained. Today was the best stream of the last month for a lot of reasons. Thank you, man. Amen. Mine, look at it, Wolf on ETH. We'll take a look. Shout out to all the beautiful people here on the live. Thank you for getting here and jumping on in. I want as many people to get this knowledge as they can, and you're seeing it play out on a daily basis. I mean, we are pumping huge now, and they're getting sloshed. Like, the shorts are getting smashed. So what they did is they created this kind of feeling of shorts, and I'm telling you, my trading style is just so anti the herd. And if you just stick to it, you somehow counter trade the herd almost every single day. Because who are they short? I mean, who are they liquidating right now? They got to be liquidating a lot of people. They have to be. For some reason, I'm not seeing my liquidation indicator there. Oh, something happened. Look, liquidation. Error. Oh, maybe I have to just reset. It would be showing me it would show me them yesterday, but we'll take a look. You never know. It could be API data. You never know. Now they're still trying to build this low, like they're going to bring us down. They're like, oh no, you're not done yet. This is just, we're just trying to make people long now so we can smash them low. See, that's why I now have my stop loss at break even. They can't really end me. You know, Blessing Sam, can you look at HUAHUA, which is Chihuahua, right? Yeah, Chihuahua, Wawa. Today was the best stream. Thank you. So we got to look at Omni on Tap Tools. We got to look at Jupiter and BONK, correct? And my team, what they do is they usually kind of pool them all together for me here. in the live chat, so I don't have to kind of look for them. So if I could get one of those now, it would be good. Let me look. There it is right there. BONK, OMNI, WOLF. All right. Thank you so much, Lakochi, and everyone that's attentive to the trades and to the trading and to the show. The show can't go on without that detail. You know, one day I was doing the trade and someone was like, Sam, you got so much going on. You gotta have someone do your timestamps. And I was like, oh, come on, man, I don't have time for all that. And then someone said, I'd like to do them for a month, and if you like it, then you could pay me. And I did, and then I liked it. That lasted for a while, but then we moved on, and then someone just far, more attentive took it on and took it to the next level. This coin was hot from the very beginning, and you could tell that it was going to do numbers. There was just a lot of hype behind it. Kind of tight I didn't see this happening. It did break the 200 MA on the 15. And watch, it probably broke like the 200 MA on the 4 hour or something. I was looking at for here to pump. My target's 150, and it looks like it could get there pretty soon. I missed out on this one. I mean, look at it. And look, if you take my system and you did this, I hope some people saw this, and maybe the elites got it. I saw a lot of flags yesterday. This one just skipped my fancy. I like DIA too. I knew it was hot. A lot of people liked it and wanted it again. There was a lot of FOMO for this coin. Just went from 75 to 105. I mean, a beautiful 30% like that. Right? And now it's a little too far from the 21. Look for that to pull back. The next flag would likely be the greatest opportunity for a move. The next swing target looks like 141. And maybe it continues to pump all the way through there. I would start looking at small time frames for some type of flag. 7 minute is a good one. You never know how it's going to happen, but something like that if it wants to continue. Never chase a green candle, in my humble opinion. Do what you want, but I never chase a green candle. I look for a flag and execute on the flag. But dang, big pump on DIA there. Pissed I missed that, but Bitcoin had my mind boggled all night, really. Let's take a look here at the 4 hour time frame and see what's happening for BONK. I liked BONK on the bounce. Looks like it's getting tight. I'm going to redraw everything, but you can see this is kind of what I see happening, just tightness. But what I do, first thing I do is I remove everything. I think I have, yeah, there. And I look at the weekly if I can. Not more information on the weekly, but it definitely saying, hey, I'm very oversold. Like, I've been oversold for a while now. And the main amount, and we have this bit of this kind of, that's an Adam and Eve, even if it's hard to see. I'm starting to see Adam and Eves in ways I never saw them before. But like, to me, that's an Adam and Eve. And then it looks like it's going to make an inverted head and shoulder inside of there. I'm starting to see some things that are brewing here. And this is live revision. Like, not a lot of people aren't going to see what I see. It looks very different from your other channels, but like, that's channeling. And honestly, I'm going to flip this way. And so very similar to what Bitcoin just did in the 5 minute, how you're getting tight and asymmetrical, and you know that a move is coming. And honestly, look what I see there. And I think it's going to be very apparent on the daily. But that's, even if you don't notice it, that's a shoulder, that's a head, and that's a right shoulder. That is likely to break to the upside. The second that daily gets above the 200, which it looks like it's just battling it, I wouldn't be surprised if BONK takes off on a major level here. So look at this. This was your resistance. You got through it. You can almost feel like you bounced on it there. Like you can almost raise that. Yeah, you got above. You retested that trend line, in my humble opinion, already, right? Then you made these key levels as resistance. Now you have resistance here. You have a high volume node and a point of control with a gap right there. I mean, and then look at this. I know you don't believe me. I know you think I'm insane, but I'm showing you things again that you just won't believe. I guess I should drink coffee more often. I feel like I'm superhuman right now, but this is insane. This stuff is nuts, huh? But look at this. I feel like I'm on drugs, but look, I mean, and I don't drink. I don't do a lot of anything really. So when I'm just, caffeine gets me, whoa. That's why I usually don't drink it. It gets me going. That tells me we can get all the way to, up on a move here. And that's a move on, look at that. I'm grabbing that. Let's make sure we get it. Breathe, Sammy, breathe. The only thing, hard to breathe on this stuff, huh? So we get up 63%, maybe 64% gains here for Bitcoin. And you can see, look, there's that shoulder, head, right shoulder, slanted Adam and Eve. This looks bullish to me. I like what I'm seeing on the daily. And if you want to get really crazy, then we got this going. and we're really tight in here, and that looks like it's about to break out too as well. So like, hey, and I could be wrong. What if all the coins don't? You know, Bitcoin takes us down, everything swamps, and we lose the bottom trend line. It could happen, man. There's no, I never want to look like a know-it-all telling you, but the chances of this and the odds of this are building very high. I like BONK right now. I like Myro and Floki. If BONK pumps, I believe they will follow. They're kind of my go-tos, but BONK looking very bullish to me. And I'm telling you, like, if you see this in the trading group, do you guys know what, do you know, does this confuse you guys? Or do you understand what the heck I'm saying here? Or are you just being like, oh, he's vague. He's just not trying to really, like, these aren't signals. I don't know. I just wonder how people feel about him. But what I'm trying to tell you is, like, this is the likely scenario. Once you stick in my group long enough, I think enough of these play out that you start to understand what I'm doing, and it makes sense. But when you first get here, you're like, where's my signal? Is that a signal? Like, I want my signals. You know, it's kind of telling you, like, the best chance to get in would be a breakout and a retest, or if you had the guts to get in around here. All right. But BONK looks to me like a move is coming. And from where we're at, I mean, that's a 56% move for BONK. And the daily is providing a continuation. 67.5 for Bitcoin. I mean, we're at 67,500. How could we complain today? That's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Remember, my gains aren't your gains. So if I had huge gains and is all I was showing you today, and, you know, it really wouldn't do you as well as the education that I teach you, right? Funny, Sam, your collar is up if you're not aware. So far, I just seen that. Shout out to Jamie Zeno on the house. Shout out to the 1,934 people here on the live. Thank you for kicking it with me here all the way past 12 o'clock. That's unbelievable. 1,900 people. Can we get 1,000 likes? It would be great before I jump off the stream. And we're not done yet with these super chats. Let's take a look at Omni here. And that is the most thorough super chat I think you'll ever get on anybody's stream. I used to watch everybody do super chats. And I said, you know what? I'm going to do it better than I've ever seen it. I'm going to show these people what true service is in any industry you're in. Service your clients. Service your peoples, man. You guys are here for entertainment. Super chats are entertainment. The more in-depth, the more detailed, the more we can educate, the more entertained you are. Let's make those super chats absolutely amazing. Let's go, you know. And that was my commitment to this stream, to give it every single thing I have. You know, that's why I really don't like missing the super chat. We don't get to them immediately because sometimes we have to get to Bitcoin first. Wow, we're struggling now. 67,380. I may get stopped at a break even here. Crazy price action. Let's take a look at Omni. Omni looks like a lot of coins. Had promise, but the whole market came down. Remember, it's always got that slanted Adam and Eve, even though you can't see it. All right? It's creepy now. I'm starting to find that. I never knew that. I backtested that and started playing it. It started playing out a lot in the last rally. Okay, so the support of resistance that matters was right there. We bounced off 771. 780. We're in a double top here, kind of following Bitcoin in a way. And so everything is kind of in this motion. There's that shoulder, head, right shoulder. It's messy. Some coins don't have the same, as clean of a structure, but they're following a similar idea. And again, very similar to what we saw with Bitcoin, a possible 50% move here. This stays tight above that POC at 899. You're good to go. So $9 key. You lose 9, you're going to test 787. You lose 787, you could come back down to these lows or even make a lower low. But you know, the whole market is more bullish. The moving averages are very tight, but the daily looks like it may have to come down and reset. I just like to see tight price action. If for 4 or 5 days you go sideways, it's very likely you could take this thing up to 1377. But I would watch it. See, my whole thing is I don't chase. I set up a projection and only trade the projection in which I see. Back to 67,480. They're eating up anyone that wants to sell this price action. Someone is hungry for Bitcoin, and they're going hard. Someone asked about Wolf on ETH. I believe LWOLF is the same coin. Wow, this thing looked bullish, right? It looked like it was going to break out of that ascending triangle, and it got sold off hard. Memes got dumped on. Funny, you know, there's a real FOMO for not honestly, there's going to be a time where Bitcoin takes off so fast, and I think people are really afraid of it. You know, most people are trading memes, and they say they're trading memes and they want to make a lot of gains, but then they know in their heart that the more the dollar kind of goes up and down, the more people start to think like, is this, you know what I mean? Like, should I not have more Bitcoin? And the stronger Bitcoin gets, I think the more, and I told everybody this, what's going to happen is the fear of not having Bitcoin is going to get so strong, and society lives so strong off fear. And that fear is going to be in our favor. So that fear, that brainwashed fear that, you know, the bourgeoisie, the banking system has installed in, you know, to keep people broke because they need to get mortgages. They need to keep people who's going to, you know, need I digress. But you know what I'm saying. The rich keep you poor because you're the one who is supporting all of their things. A mortgage was a product created by the bank to make people believe that home ownership was what you needed. So they could just sell you a product and keep you in a 30-year mortgage. I mean, it was a way to make more money off of the little money that you did have to squeeze out. So the rich could stay richer and the middle class would kind of stay pressed. Same reason why they raise taxes on you every year and they print our money to zero. It's all designed. Bitcoin is a way out. Bitcoin is not part of that. They can't print money to zero. When they print money in the Federal Reserve, it does not print your Bitcoin. It actually makes your Bitcoin go up because it devalues the dollar. I teach this all the time, and I teach this more than technical analysis. I teach financial literacy, man, like how to understand what's happened and what money printing really is. Fiat currency around the world, man, it's like, anyway, we could go on that for years. It's going to take one tweet that someone wanted to buy. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the upper and the Fed. Amen. Until we end the Fed, we're all still, you know, slaves of the same system, no matter who we vote into office. Some things will be somewhat better. Some people are definitely more about having a, you know, a closed border and stuff like that. That's a fact. But at the end of the day, you know. So Wolf, I mean, you don't want to see it. Look, previous resistance. You really want to see that bounce there soon, sooner than later. What's the bottom indicator you're using? It's stochastics RSI with divs. Okay. Do we see a big green candle with Trump? You never know, man. I hope so, man. May God bless you. Exactly. And so then when you don't have the right abundance mindset, how can you accumulate wealth? They've gamed the system. They know exactly how to tap into your frequency and change the way you feel about yourself. And therefore change the way you're able to change the world, man. We're going to stop that. We're going to turn you into an awesome, confident person that believes you are made by God, who wants amazing things to happen to you. You're made by an amazing being that wants abundance and love throughout the world. God wants you to spread your wings and fly so everyone else can see how large your wingspan is, you know, how high you can fly. The higher you fly, the more you encourage others to do the same. And the more you push the world to push themselves to make the entire world a better place. I say this every day, but I'm learning a lot from Jim Rohn. I listened to him for years, but I'm going through all my teachings that he taught me in my late 20s and how I got here. And I start listening to him now, and I'm like, man, I was brainwashing myself with his teachings. I just kept listening to them until they molded me into who I needed to become. I just kept, you know, if you're brainwashed by what you watch, if your kid watches a lot of cartoons with, you know, bad stuff, or let's just say the word bra or something, like your kid watches a show with bra and starts saying that all the time, or whatever the word is, your kid starts saying the same word all the time, right? It's like, it shows that we call a program. So if we know that programs do get into our minds and do have some influence over us, then you should be watching programs that program you to be amazing. And so the algorithms will set it for you, and the things will come at you. Neville Goddard, right? How to produce, you know, positive effects from the mind. How to believe you're already where you need to be so that the universe conspires to meet you there. These are all powerful tools of manifestation. And once you use them, that's the algorithm's going to feed those types of videos to you. So instead of watching, you know, I don't know, some program about gossip in some music industry, or the horrible things that P. Diddy did, which, I mean, you could spend hours doing that and just imagine the worst things possible. He did them all right, and move on. And then start to build a better life, you know? That's going to take up a lot of the media right now, and it's just sad. It's just going to spread more low frequency, because when you read about that, it doesn't feel good. And when people are pushed against their will, when men hit, the whole thing is absolutely horrible. All right. Yeah, we looked at LWOLF. I thought I did look at LWOLF. Yeah. It was LandWolf, I guess. Yeah. Jupiter looks cool. See how it's bouncing off the 200 MA? We just want to see it stay above that. And I like this tight price action. Only a matter of time. Once the market starts to rip, I see Jupiter making gains. Wow, Bitcoin to 67,260, struggling to hold 67.5, and now we may even lose that key level. Should have got out of here when wow, look at that. They just took it right back. And there you go, losing the 200 MA on the 7-minute time frame. Oh, man. So the volatility has been absolutely strange today. But again, what was that? I mean, rejection by 67.7, and then not able to hold 67.2. Please, can you look at Moonbeam? Exactly. No different than choosing sides in war, and especially on it. Yeah. All right. I thought I looked at LWOLF. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm probably wrong. I'm sorry. Oh yeah, LandWolf been hot. I was about to say, I thought we looked at Wolf and look. LandWolf's been hot. It looks like it's gonna pop. I just keep watching. It's getting tighter and tighter. You knew this already, man. What'd you need me to show this? I'm messing with you. I appreciate you. But I mean, look at that. Yeah, this looks very, very tight. I have an alert on LWOLF in the trading group. This is in the trading group, man. Kind of giving me away one of my hot calls, man. Anyway, this looks hot. Of all the other markets, this is getting tighter and tighter. If it pops and nothing else does, it's going to be pretty obvious why. It's showing you signs of strength in the technical analysis department compared to the rest of everything else, right? So, we do have a full moon tonight, but look, I mean, BOOKMAP still suggests that we go lower. It never got rid of that liquidity. It says, no. That was just a fake out to get people to long. Now we're going to get all that liquidity and trample on you. Someone asked for HUAHUA and REEF. Chihuahua. Chihuahua's cool. I mean, it's back above the 8-hour 200 MA. Similar thing, not as bullish as LWOLF, but inside that symmetrical triangle. It could break to the downside if it loses the 200, you know, but I mean, it looks like it's at its bottom. You could wait for it to breach this trend line. Lower volume too, though. Way lower volume than LWOLF. Just, you know. I don't really love the chart per se, but it is more bullish than bearish, technically, being above that 200 MA in the 8-hour time frame and the 4-hour. Look for it to hold the 200 in the 4-hour. If it loses the 200 in the 4-hour, it's going to lose 6111 and come back down to this point of control at 4165. If you want to be extra cautious, you wait for it to get tight. You want to be even more cautious, you wait for it to break out and retest the level at 7917. Okay. And last but not least, everyone's saying REEF is dumping to the downside. Made my first super chat for REEF. You guys see it? I know it wasn't your intention. I didn't skip it, man. I'm doing REEF right now. Yeah. We don't skip super chats, my friend. Okay, here. Yeah. An alert on SCA. And I'll give that to my trading group at the right time. What that is and why, you'll see. But I have a lot of alerts going all the time. And my trading group's privy to them all and what's happening, why I set them, where I'm looking at them, and how I'm scanning the market. That alone is a full-time job as well, on top of trading Bitcoin, but we do it somehow every day. Okay, take a look at DOP. 1 hour falling megaphone, you hit resistance. I told your brother, draw a trend line from the end of the week, stop for the, what are we doing? Yeah. Let's get it out of there. Thank you. Okay, bro, who cares? Yeah, I don't know what he said. Yeah. Can you check Phantom? I need your analysis. I mean, REEF might make a beautiful move. Just could have been a sell-off, or maybe a whale that had you know, who knows, had way too much invested in the ecosystem. Maybe got in down here, came up, decided, yeah, I'll just take what I can and move it somewhere else before I get to break even. You never know really what the true intentions of a bigger dump are, but you know, your daily still looks like it could have room to move. It's below the 200 MA on the daily. below the 200 MA on the 4 hour. Were they exploited? Did something happen I don't know about? You know? A lot of support there, but once you lose that, you're coming to the bottom trend line. Somewhat right down here. REEF doesn't look good. Okay. For me to believe in REEF at all, it's got to break out of what would be like this falling wedge and get above 01784. Right. Till then, I wouldn't really put a lot of, you know. Yeah. Can we have DIA up 50%? Glad I took my little 12% at 67.575. I mean, you never know. Honestly, I'm still in the trade. Look at that. They didn't get me yet. It got so close though. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Look at the wick, dude. Look at that. That was my stop at break even. So we're still in this trade, holding it down, baby. You know, it's right there. You can see it clearly. No BS. All right. Yeah, REEF was delisted from Binance. There you go. So people just like moveon.com, right? Okay. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Appreciate each and every one of you for being here. And what another beautiful live stream, everyone. Thank you so much for all the attentive nature. Remember, hit the like button. It helps more people learn about cryptocurrency. If you're just watching and you forgot, please hit that like button. It would be greatly appreciated. Let's get to 1,000 likes before I end the stream. It would be awesome. We didn't miss a super chat. We made sure we covered it all for you no matter what. The trade is still in the green. And if you took profits, you had a live trade. Whatever you want to say. All right. Keep hitting that like. I'll do the update for Klaus. Whatever someone asks for, we'll do it. All right. Take a look at what's here. I don't know why this is giving me. When the stream ended, then it worked fine the other day. I don't know what's happening. I don't know if I have a setting off or I'm hitting the wrong place. I don't know what's going on, honestly. If I hit these, it works. So it doesn't. Seems like the server is working. I don't know what's going on. All right. Nami's okay. I don't know if that's like the best play in the game. Nami. See, what is this? Yeah, I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's going on. Yeah. All older coins, definitely older. I told you before, 67.2 weekly support. You just want to close a daily candle above that. All right. Stay far away from that one. I saw the bundling 80% of the supply. Watch it launch. Yeah, there you go. See? Look at that. Fun stream, Sammy. Thanks for the good time. Keep an eye on that potential Bitcoin Adam and Eve forming. Yeah. I like Blub. Not sure if it takes off, though. It's all right, I guess. Some good Sui memes. Navi Blub, right? Sammy, just when you thought you were out, they sent you back in. I know, right? Hey, man, I'm either out or I'm in. If I'm in, I'm in, right? I'm still in, so I'm still in the long, and I'll tell my trading group what happens at the end. And with that, I'm going to sign out. 12:20. We went an extra 20 minutes here, so God bless you all. Thank you, everybody, for being here. May God bless each and every one of you for jumping on in. Push yourself to your limits every single day. Help others. Live by your passion. Make it happen. You know, there's days you don't want to do things. You got to be disciplined and do it anyway. It's not easy, but we do it. Everybody, you know, the alts aren't too bad, honestly. Some are holding pretty good too, but we'll see, man. One day at a time, we could dump to 66.9, you know, so we'll see. Everybody, I love you. I appreciate you. I don't think I forgot any super chats. No, I did not. Someone's claiming I forgot a super chat. Is that correct? I don't think so. Let's double check though on the fan funding here. Cass, where's the bounce going to happen? What's the short-term, long-term view? Technically, that super chat was so late in the show. At this point, they're kind of close, but Caspa, honestly, when you botch a coin run like that, I don't know, man. But, you know, I'm still long Caspa in the long term. Daily did lose the 200 MA, though. That's a very bearish sign. But we did it there, and it became a buying opportunity. You have to understand, you're in an uptrend. A low, a high, a low, a higher high, a higher low. You're in an uptrend. And in this uptrend, you could continue further to the upside. So, like, a lot of people with bearish, probably a great time to buy, honestly. It's a great project, best layer one. I mean, you guys are really a bunch of scaredy cats, man. Honestly, like, just to prove it, I don't think I have anything right now. But I'd buy this. I believe this could be a good buying opportunity. But you do whatever makes you happy for Caspa. It didn't hit the stop loss. Still looks good to me. Bit of an Adam and Evie. It does. I want to see it bounce sooner than later. Not saying it's amazing, but Bitcoin gets the bounce. This will get pulled up, and then you're gonna wish if you panic sold this puppy here, you're probably kicking yourself when Cas is back at 31 cents. I do hold it long term. I'm probably gonna be somewhat bullishly biased, but I would tell you the truth too. Below the 200 is bearish. You need to get back above that to remain strong. At the same time, you're holding a higher low in a trend. So, and the macro uptrend, you're still holding a higher low. When you take this low out at 10 cents, you'd probably come back one more time for the bearish retest. That 14-cent area would be the time to bail, because then it would be likely that you're making the lower high, but they'll give you a chance to get out usually in the trend if you're patient. So if I see that, 14 cents may be a bail point, but until then, I'm strong on my Caspa, and I'm not even stressing this. I got like 100 grand of it, and I'm not even stressing. Everybody, I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you for jumping on in and showing up every single day. You make this stream amazing. May God bless everybody here on the live, and thank you for sharing your most precious asset with me, and that is time 67,300. We're still in the trade, and I'll keep you updated in the trading group. May God bless you all. Thank you so much for being here. I'll catch you tomorrow.